Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mila, you're at my book nook, and it's been a minute. I've been dealing with just health hurdles, so to speak, just headaches, just not feeling well in general. It's been a month. It's been a minute. I just like staring at a screen for too long, I think, because I do it at work, coming back and editing and doing all that again. For however long it takes me to film a video, it just was not in the cards for me. So today I wanted to bring you my haul for the first quarter. It is the I don't even know what date it is. It's the 28th of March. So we're almost done. It is Saturday. By the time you see this, it's going to be April. So I don't think I'll be buying anything significant in the next couple of days. Well, I was gonna maybe go to Indigo today, but whatever. I've got enough books here. The funniest thing is I haven't finished a single one of them. No, actually, that's a lie. There's one that I actually have finished, technically, kind of. We'll get to that in a minute, by what I mean by that, but just not in the specific edition that I got. Not the specific book. So I've got quite a few books for you today, and I've forgotten this one because I bought this in January, and that was the only book I bought in January. And I was so proud of the fact that I only bought one book in January that I went ham in February and March. Okay, more so February than March, but I just couldn't resist the deals that I found in some of these. I'll get to what I mean in a minute. So yeah, big disclaimer, this is over 3 months, okay? I read like 50 books in a year, you know? I have the shelf space, theoretically speaking, and I'm going to read these. Like, this isn't hoarding. Okay, it hasn't come to the point where it's hoarding because I don't let it come to the point where it's hoarding. So yeah, so the first book I got in January, I guess I'm going to go in order in a sense. The first book I got was The Strength of the Few by James Islington. This is the second book in the hierarchy. I think it's a quartet at this point. I thought it was 3 books. And I wish they just printed one because I'm so bad at, like, you know, bending things, and it just wasn't done very well, I think. I'm not a big fan of how they printed it, and the hierarchy on here is actually wrong, like it's spelt wrong compared to here. Anyways, I have thoughts and feelings about the cover change, and I'm glad that they like changed it to fit the first book and la da da da, but I don't like the quality of this cover. I think because it wasn't bent this way, yeah, it just looks, yeah, it doesn't look right, you know. It doesn't look right. Also, you can see, I don't know if you can see that, but you can see like the indent of the other side because this is like a double cover. But yeah, this is the second book in the Hierarchy series by James Islington. I read The Will of the Many ages ago before it came out because I got an arc of it and I really loved it. And then it took a minute for it to really catch its audience. But once it did, it blew up, and bookstores everywhere were like sold out. And then they changed the cover, and I still have beef with that. So I trekked all the way to a very specific Indigo that had the copies of the book. So yeah, that's that. I still have to like finish my reread of The Will of the Many, and that vlog is coming. I swear it's coming. Okay, it's such a long book, and I have so many other books that I want to read. Anyways, so yeah, so that's that. This is the next set. So we're going into February books now, and these are all secondhand books. So I got them very, very cheap, and I believe I talked about it in a vlog. So if you have seen these in a vlog, that's because, you know. So the first one I got was 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. This is a very common repeat in this household. Have I read it? No, I haven't. But this is the Oxford World Classics, and it's really difficult to find this anywhere. And then I went to my university bookstore, and there's like 2 copies of it. Sorry, no, there's a copy of this one, and then there's 2 copies of the Penguin Classics ones, which is also notoriously difficult to find in regular bookstores. So I snatched this up. This is like in pristine condition. It doesn't even have the mark on the bottom. Usually secondhand bookstores, they put a mark so that you can't resell it at like a higher price and stuff. And I got this one for $7.99. So yeah. Next we have Novels, Tales, Journeys, The Complete Prose of Alexander Pushkin, a true translation by Richard Pevear and Larisa Walachonsky. but not sure where the stressor on that is. But yeah, this is another one that I got from a secondhand bookstore, same bookstore as 20,000 Leagues. These are all from the same bookstore, actually. And it's BMV Books in Toronto. And if you want to know where that is and what it looks like, I do have a vlog for it. So where I go to like different bookstores in Toronto. And this is just a bunch of his novels, tales, and journeys. Simply put, universally acknowledged as Russia's greatest poet, Pushkin wrote with the rich, prolific creative powers of a Mozart or a Shakespeare. His prose spans a remarkable range from satires to epistolary tales, from light comedies to romantic adventures in the manner of Sir Walter Scott, from travel narratives to historical fiction. The haunting dream world of the Queen of Spades draws on his own experiences with high-stakes society gambling. The 5 short stories, the tales of the late Ivan Petrovich Belkin, are deceptively light as they reveal astonishing human deaths, and his short novel, The Captain's Daughter, a love story set during the Cossack rebellion against Catherine the Great, has been called the most perfect book in Russian literature. I have been looking for this book everywhere. Okay, Amazon has it, but it's like I don't want to order from Amazon. Indigo has it, but it's like I have to wait because they don't have it in stores anywhere. So yeah, Pushkin, I'm very excited to have this. I haven't read it. Pushkin is very intimidating, even in English. So, and then I go to the bookstore and there's like 5 of these. So yeah, yeah, this was, do I even want to know how much this was? Oh, it doesn't say. Ha! You shall be spared from the price this time around. It actually, oh, I know it doesn't say. I think there was a sticker and I took the sticker off, so it was like $7 as well. Then we have a slightly beat up nonfiction, but I was very intrigued and I was very excited to find this on the shelf because I didn't expect it. And it's like, I think it's like an older edition of this because I don't think this would have been in like regular bookstores. It is Homer and His Iliad by Robin Lane Fox. This is a nonfiction, and the only real thing I know about it is it's about specifically Iliad and Homer's like connection to it, and or I guess Homer as sort of not a real author, but like a mythical, in a sense, author because we don't know who Homer was. I hope that makes sense. And this was $4.99 because it's a little beat up, like you can tell with the spines and stuff. It's like beat up, which I don't mind because I love beat up nonfiction paperbacks. Like that's my preferred method. And also it's fairly small. Like I don't have very big hands, but like it's just a little bit bigger, I think, than my Kindle. So, which is great. And the paper is like really good quality. So I don't think I'll even get like any ghosting or anything. So very excited to get to this when I get to it. And I really like the cover. The mosaic is very nice. Next and last from this portion of the haul for the beginning of February 12th is when I bought these. We have the Amazon Lives and Legends of Warrior Women Across the World by Adrienne Mayer. And if you're wondering like, hey, Mila, don't you already have a copy of something that sounds exactly like this? And you would be correct because I do have a hardcover copy that I found at another secondhand bookstore of this book. And it was also in pristine condition. But as I said, I love nonfiction as paperbacks. And I started reading this, and the moment it mentions Tajikistan, the moment it mentions Central Asia, I was like, I must. So yeah, I did start this ages ago, and it's been on like my nonfiction TBR for like years. And I'm not the biggest fan of this cover, but it'll do. Maybe once I read this, I can transfer all my like tabs and annotations to the big one. And then I'll be able to hold that up. But this is not super floppy, but it's floppy enough. We're going to be here for a while, so please grab a drink, a snack, whatever. I have a cup of just regular black tea with a lot of sugar and a lot of lemon in this very cute strawberry mug because I have a headache. So, oh yeah, that hits the spot. So next we have, actually bought this as an ebook because the wait list was astronomical at the library on Libby. And then the next day, my boyfriend and I went to the bookstores because he owed me. We just wanted to hang out. So we went book shopping, and he actually got me a good chunk of these. He got me 2. He got me 3. Oh, he got me 3. He got me 2 of the books from this specific haul, and these are all new books. So I'm just gonna grab this and then move this, and then grab this and then move this, and then that's roughly the haul for that. So first up, As I said, the book that I initially bought as an ebook, and then my boyfriend kindly bought it for me because I really wanted to read it, and he's like, okay, I'll buy it for you. Or rather, he wouldn't let me buy the physical copy. It is Red Winter by Cameron Sullivan. I don't have the cover. I don't have the dust jacket. I don't have the dust jacket because I took it off, and that's what I do with hardcovers. I take out the dust jacket, and I'm not gonna lie to you, the red edges aren't doing it for me, but that was the only option. Is also why I haven't bought like The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow, even though I really want to read it and I really want to get a copy, is because of the stupid turquoise edges. Can we just have a paperback release at this point, please? Please. Yeah, so this is Red Winter. I think it's like a werewolf and like a beast. And it's also gay, and it's set in France. So I was a good chunk of it way into it. I think I lost my page. Regardless, I'll get back to it. Then we have an author that by this point I've read 4 out of 6 books from, and this is like her, so she has a quartet, and then she has a trilogy in progress. So the first 2 books were released from that trilogy, and we don't have any info for the 3rd book, and they didn't have a copy of the first book of that trilogy. So I got the 2nd book, and it is And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison. And this follows 2 rival, I think, meteorologists. 2 competing meteorologists are forced to find common grounds in this opposite attract when Harry meets Sally in Spider-Romance. When Harry Met Sally. I don't know what Harry Met Sally is actually about. I've never watched it. I know it's a really beloved like rom-com. No idea. I don't know what it's about. But yeah, I'm obsessed with B.K. Borison's covers of this series, as well as her Love Light Farm series, which is the quartet that I read. So 4 out of 6 books read, and I'm very excited to get into this. And she just has this really easy way of she has this really specific way of really gripping you with her. You might not even care for the tropes, but the characters is where it's at. And just the setting, she really does good with the character relationships, I think. So yeah, next we have The Witch Roads by Kate Elliott, and this is another one that my boyfriend kindly got me, and I believe this is a duology, if I'm not mistaken. Oh my god, my headache. I believe this is a duology. It is by Kate Elliott, and this cover intrigued me. This is the cover is literally one of the only reasons why I actually got it. I don't know much of what it's about. Okay, so idiots don't listen to their guide and something happens. So that's all I kind of have that I can tell you. Next we have my love, the one and only India Holton. We have The League of Gentlewoman Witches. I believe this is another trilogy, interconnected trilogy, and I've read her Love Academic series because I got an e-arc of Antiquarian's Object of Desire, and I read that, which I'll talk about in my quarter 1 wrap up, obviously, but I loved it. And I really like her writing style. I love her characters. I love her world. She just has such a unique, fun way of doing it. And I believe she has 2 other books in this specific trilogy that are interconnected, but the cover of this one really spoke to me. I just love the dark blues and the sword versus broom kind of thing that's going on down there. And just it's so cottagecore, and I love it. I love it. I feel like this would be just a really fun, I think our books would be a really fun TV show. Just silly goofy time. And then lastly, from this specific haul, we have Agnes Aubert's Mystical Cat Shelter by Heather Fawcett. This is my copy. And I think this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I love it when they actually print the cover onto the book. I find that it adds to the quality of the book, first off, and second off, I don't have to deal with a bajillion cover that I'm going to put in the cover drill, the sleeves. So I loved her Emily Wilde series. I haven't finished the 3rd book. I loved Encyclopedia of Fairies. I didn't love the 2nd book, and I haven't finished the 3rd, but yeah. Oh my god, this is so cute. Shut up. So cute. Sorry, I'm just looking at it. There's like a mini set of like Encyclopedia Fairies and stuff, and I'm hoping that the cat distribution system will lock in after I read this, because I would like a cat again. Our cat passed away. He was old. He passed away in his sleep, unfortunately. So, and I would like this to help the cat distribution system to lock in, because I would like a cat again. Okay, I would like a cat. I want to hear pitter patters outside my door at 2 o'clock in the morning, please. So yeah, so that is that. Agnes Aubert's Mystical Cat Shelter by Heather Fawcett. Okay, next we have the next time we went book shopping, and we hit 4 secondhand bookstores. I believe it was. Yeah, I believe it was 4. So we went to BMV, we went to Seekers. No, sorry. We went to, okay, not in this order. We went to BMV, we went to Seekers, we went to Balfour Books, and we went to Sellers and Newell. So the reason why it's not in that order is because we actually went to Balfour and Sellers and Newell first, because they close earlier and they're further away. So it takes a little bit for us to get there. And a portion of the line, I think, that weekend wasn't working. So anyways, that was a whole other thing. So we had to figure out how to get there. And then we went, I believe, to BMV and Seekers, if I remember correctly. I don't even remember. My brain's not functioning at all. Or maybe we did. I don't remember. Anyways, my boyfriend does appear in the bookstore vlog. So, because I went with him to Balfour and Sellers and Newell. So, and then we have a little book haul. So if you saw that, this is where all these books are from. So first up we have, this is in no order because I don't remember what order I got them in, but first up we have this very cute, adorable cover of Anne of Green Gables by Ellen Montgomery. And I feel like such a fake Canadian when I say that I haven't read Anne of Green Gables, and I've watched 1,000,001 Anne with an E edits, and this is such a quintessential like Canadian book, and I really want to go to PI and stuff. And I've been told that I'm a lot like Anne with an E, especially. But yeah, very, very excited to get to this. I do have a copy of Anne of Green Gables, but I think my brother drew in it, so I don't really want to read from that. And I really like these editions because they're so like soft and almost, I guess, 3D in a sense. Like it's almost like clay animation in a way, if that makes sense. And I think they're very cute, and I'm very excited, and I would love to get the rest of the series once I get to it. So that is Anne with an E, and that's the first of our big secondhand book haul. Also, yeah, that day, all of the books were secondhand. So then we have a copy of the Iliad. This is translated by Robert Fitzgerald. Do I have a Robert Fitzgerald one? No, I do not have a Robert Fitzgerald one. No, I don't. So this is like these cool covers, and I really like them. And I don't have Fitzgerald, and he's very beloved, and it's a little beat up, which I don't mind because I'm gonna annotate it anyways at some point. And yeah, this one I got from Sellers and Newell. And with an E I got from Balfour Books, and I believe my boyfriend actually bought that one from me. There's that. I don't want it to fall. I feel like it's gonna fall. Next we have Chernyavok by CJ Cherry. And yeah, this is the second book in this trilogy of like Russian, like inspired by Russian fairy tales. And I really want to read the first book, and I'm kind of bummed that the bookstore didn't have like the first book. I only had the second book because these are really difficult to find. Like really difficult to find. I have to go on eBay or Etsy, difficult to find. So yeah, I'm excited to get to this regardless, and I just love books with like Russian fairy tales, and I feel like this is one that I need to read, fully grasp sort of that very minute subgenre of books. Next, we have my 18th copy of Dumas' The Three Musketeers. I got this because A, it's in pretty solid condition, okay? And B, I really like this cover. I don't like any of the other modern versions of the Penguin Classic covers. And yeah, if you know, you know. I read The Count of Monte Cristo last year, and I loved it. And I want to read the rest of Dumas' backlog and stuff. So yeah, and this actually has like a musketeer in the time of Louis the 10, 11, 12, 13 by J.L.E. Maisonnier. Were produced by permission of the Trustees Wallace Collection, London. So like it actually has like a musketeer on the cover. Anyway, so that's that. I'm going to be reading this at some point as well. I believe this is our May classic, if I remember correctly. All right, we continue. We have Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. This is an Everyman Library Actually edition. These are like the paperbacks. Again, difficult to find. A really nice edition, and I'm not going to be able to collect all my Austen books in one edition because they're all so varied. You'll see why I mean that in a moment. But yeah, so Sense and Sensibility. I don't have another Sense and Sensibility, do I? I do not. So my mom and I watched this movie, the one with Emma Thompson and Kate Winslet, and I really loved it, and I really want to read it because I went into it pretty blind, and yeah, I'm very excited for this. Next, we have a pretty unique book. It is Homer in English, Poets in Translation. This is another Penguin Classics. I've never actually seen this. There's a bunch of like different translations from different translators, so to speak. A bunch of different translations of like Odyssey and the Iliad, and I think a couple of like Homeric poems, maybe. I think it's mainly Ulysses, Iliad. Yeah, I think it's mainly Odyssey and Iliad, obviously. So I wanted to just like give this a read through, and yeah, this cover speaks to me in a lot of ways. So yeah, there's that. Next, we have, this was when my boyfriend got us tickets to the ROM, and we went to see the shark exhibit, and we went to the bookstore after. So I have 3 books in similar editions, and if you've seen my copy of Anna Karenina, you'll know what I mean. So I have these signature editions. So I have 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. And this is what I mean by this is a repeat. So yeah, I think I'm going to use the Oxford Classic version because this is a very nice edition, but also it's like I bought this with my money, so it's like I should be fine. But anyways, so yeah, there's signature editions. So this is the first signature edition, and these are actually very cheap. So next we have Pride and Prejudice, and this is what I mean by like I've read one of these, but just in a different edition, because I do have a different edition of Pride and Prejudice that I used when reading for the first time, and I really love this edition. It's just so pretty. It's so pretty. It's not shiny or anything. It's very matte, but I really love the portraits and the paintings and all that they chose. And then we have another Jane Austen. This is what I mean by having totally different editions. We have Mansfield Park by Jane Austen. And yeah, I don't know anything about this one. I've heard mixed things about everything beyond Pride and Prejudice and probably Sense and Sensibility. But yeah, I'm very excited for this. I really love this cover as well. I think it gives a certain vibe to it. And I wasn't going to pass up the opportunity to get this for like $12. So, not very expensive. So that was all for February. So those 3 were March. My bad. I completely forgot to tell you. Those 3 were March. And then we have Reading and Writing in Farsi, Persian, Beginner's Guide to the Farsi Scripted Language. I want to try and learn Farsi eventually. So I got lock in with this, and hopefully this will help me with remembering which letter is which letter, because it's not easy. It's not easy. Next we have this really cool edition of From the Earth to the Moon by Jules Verne. This is like an illustrated edition, and it has like the original font. Let me see if I can pull it up. Like font from like back then, right? That they reproduced, and it also has like pictures. I don't want to put my tea down. So I don't want to put my tea down. So yeah, there's that. So I'm very excited to read that, and I think that actually that font is very easy on the eyes. And then we have 2 women's books, surprisingly. These are also from the secondhand bookstore. We have Well Met by Jen DeLuca, and then we have Well Traveled by Jen DeLuca. This is also like, I think it's right now there's 4 books. I think there's a 5th actually, and unfortunately that specific bookstore, BMV, only had those 2 books. But I was very excited to see them regardless, because they're ridiculously hard to find for some reason. But yeah, and lastly, we have I hate, I'm gonna preface this by like saying this is like my only option because I wanted to have like a physical copy. But let me just tell you, I really hate this cover. And that is Le Monte Cristo by Alexandrian. This is the format push by Folio Classique. And what? Okay. And I don't know what this is. I don't know who this is. I don't know what's going on here. But yeah, very excited to get through this. My goal for this year is to read the first tome, which is the first like 900 pages, I think. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, so very excited for this, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have gotten some, I guess, ideas of books that you may want to buy and stuff. I'm going to tell you that a majority of these were secondhand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 books out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 10 books out of 23 were new. The rest were used. So I feel like I have a pretty good mix here. And yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed, as I said. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification, follow me on all my other socials. Let me know your thoughts down below. And I will see you in the next one. Happy reading!